Hello everyone, my name is Iván. I work at OpenPass as a developer, and today I'm going to show you a little bit about an integration that we did between AI and Bust, on topic with the last discussion. So, first, motivation. What we wanted to do here is to have some tools that can help, beginner programmers or programmers of all levels to code. Maybe if they want to understand some method or they want to write code, help improve names and so on, to have this AI, this companion, something like a copilot, to help them write code, right? So I'm going to show you a little demo, simple demo, non-complex demo here. So first, yeah, of course. Okay. 16? Okay, let's go with 16. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay, nice. So first thing that you gotta do to start using this copilot, you have to load this configuration map. It is the UI, just load will require maps. This will also load this core. And then since you can use almost any LLM that you want, for this example, we are going to be using ChatGPT, the OpenAI interface. You can also use it with any LLM that use the same interface, for example, Llama and so on. But if you want to use it with another LLM, with another interface or connection protocol, you can just develop the model and just the UI for loading the configuration and so on. I'm going to show that in a little bit. So just load the configuration map for the OpenAI support, and that's it. We can scrap the image real fast. Okay. And as you can see, maybe, here it says Kirumi AI. And you have three options. The first one is open configuration, then open chat, and help diagnose rollback. So let's go with the first one. It is the first thing that you have to do to set up the AI. So here we have this Kirumi AI configuration, just a window. And we have two parts. The first one, the service URL and the API key, and then a conversational module code and this model temperature. So first, we have to fill these blanks. You can just make it if you want. Okay, here, API key. There we go. And then the URL. Okay, and then you can choose the conversational model code. In this example, we are going to be using GPT 3.5 Turbo, but you can use whatever you want. And then the model temperature is something like how random the response is going to be. So we're going to go with 7, because otherwise the responses can get a little bit weird. So here you can test the connection. Okay. An information window pops up that you are connected to the LLM and that you can start using the tools. So then you save the configuration. And okay, let's go back here and see some of the tools. So let's see the examples. Okay, here. So you're going to see that here we have a new menu. Again, Kirumi AI, and 3 new options. Help me find a better name, correct naming errors, and explain implementation. Same here in the list of classes. Help me find a better name and correct naming errors. So let's start with the first tool. Let's say this one. So since we all speak Spanish here in Argentina, we are pretty used to making mistakes writing code or choosing names for the messages and objects and so on. So maybe sometimes we write a name and we are not really sure, we're not sure that it is the best name, so we want to have some suggestions. Here, what you can do is ask to Kirumi, help me find a better name. So this pops up, and it says name suggestions. Hey, you can see my suggestions in the list below. And you have some suggestions here, 3. So for example, perform action with ID of matching user, do if none found. Also, if you don't like the suggestions, you can click here, or suggestions, and it brings you a new set of suggestions. And let's say that we like this one, perform action, we can execute the refactor. It's going to ask to create a scratch. Okay, and the refactor is somewhere around here. Okay, here. So this for the message. We also have the same for the class. So if I click here, help me find a better name, it's going to do the same exact thing. So then the other one. This is for suggesting new names, maybe different, pretty different. But also we are used to making our grammar mistakes or in the structure when we write in English. So maybe we want to keep the same name but correct the mistakes. For that, for example, let's see. This one. Okay. This one is reading correctly. But if we ask Hirumi to correct naming errors, I think it's going to say just that. I didn't find any errors in the name. But if we purposely make a mistake, for example, lowercase c, and instead of identified, something like that. Okay. I think it is obviously wrong, and we can ask Hirumi to help us improve it. So, correct naming errors. Puede fallar, it can fail, but we can ask again. Try again. Kirumi, please. Okay, there we go, there we go. Woo! Okay. Then, naming errors. It says, hey, you can see my review below, and it says the message contains a grammatical error and does not use camel case. The word identified is misspelled, and parababa. Okay. So then you have the corrected name, sensitive data of car identified by. If you don't like the response, whatever, you can try again. But if you like it, you can choose execute the rename. And that's it. Okay, and the same you have here for the class, correct naming errors. So the last one in the list of messages, let's say this one. Okay. We have this implementation. We want to know what it does without looking too much at the code. Maybe we are too lazy. We can ask Kirumi to explain it. So explain implementation. Okay. So here it says implementation explanation. Here you have a summary of what the message does. The code sends a request to retrieve cards of a specific type from an affinity group on parababa. And then a step-by-step explanation through comments on the code. Okay, here we're going to talk a little bit about that, about this later, but it can make mistakes in the way it writes the comment. The idea is that it writes comments in the code without really changing the code, just comments. So we can ask it to try again. Okay, and one more time. Okay, he doesn't want to do it. We can try something, because if we lower the mold temperature a little bit, maybe it will work better. So let's try one more time. Okay, he doesn't want to do it correctly. In the morning it was working, but okay. Let's try with another message, just to see if it can work. Let's say this one. Yeah, okay. There we go. Yeah, this one. So here is the explanation, and then you have explanation through comments. The idea here is, but well, always this comment, just comments on the code. You can just copy and paste if you want to save the comments. So you see here, collect the responses of updating the affinity group for each card on the collection, and then this one here. So you have an explanation. That's it in this browser. And now we are going to look two new tools here in Kirumi AI in the transcript. So first we have, let's see this, help diagnose wallback. So we have some bus wallback. We want to have some first step, what we can do, where to put the first breakpoint, for example. So we have two examples of wallbacks. Let's look at them. Okay. So some wallback and the fine object doesn't understand do. And then we have another one that says and the fine object does not understand extra information. So we can ask Kirumi to look at the wallback and give us some information. So here, help diagnose wallback. Okay, here, the first one. So here it gives you an analysis. The error is occurring when the message station attributes sent to an instance of IPS address. That is likely where the problem lies and where the problem should start investigating for the error. Maybe if we don't like, again, the response, we can try again, because of course it can make mistakes, as we saw earlier. And here it gives you another explanation. And you can do the same with any wallback that you want. For example, the second example here. And it gives you, here is response IPS error on connect, the message where the error is happening, so you can put a breakpoint there and start debugging. And last but not least, we have here an open chat tool. Okay, so we have this window, Kirumi chat, and it says, hey, how can I help you today? So, hey, how are you? And then we hit send. Okay, I'm just a language model AI, so I don't have feelings. That's too bad. Okay, but we can also click here in new chat and ask, for example, for do you know where a Smalltalk bust is? And hit send. Smalltalk bust, development environment, and application framework, and so on. So here you have a chat, so you don't have to go back to ChatGPT in the web, and you can just use it here inside the environment. Okay, those are the tools. So a little bit about next steps. As you saw here, we like a tool to generate code or maybe help you write code. We tried that and it was terrible because, of course, ChatGPT knows practically nothing about the code base of Bast and even nothing about our code base at OpenPass. So when you ask ChatGPT to generate code for a Smalltalk, it gives you weird responses. It doesn't really work. And we try to do that and also to have some kind of review tool, so you can ask the AI, hey, how can I improve this code? It gives you an example, maybe you make it a factor, and you ask him to help me better this specific part of the code, but again, it doesn't work because it really don't know our code. So to solve this, we are starting to look into RAG, that's Retrieval Augmented Generation. That is basically put an agent between the user and the LLM. And the job of this agent is to basically know your code. So knowing your code, it can give context to LLM. So for example, you ask, hey, can you write code to do, I don't know, retrieve all the cards from the database? So it first goes to the agent, shows the question, and the agent goes to some kind of vectorial database and picks up parts of your code that seems to be related. And that is what it's going to send to the LLM, so we have some context, some information about the question. And that proves to be better, but we're still looking into it. We already have a team back in OpenPass starting research on this topic, and hopefully we can start using it here soon enough. So yeah, that's it. So if you have some kind of question or comment, whatever, uh, now is the time. Thank you very much.
Thank you for showing this to us. Looks interesting, but I cannot help notice all the false responses gave you that you
Oh
had
yeah,
to
yeah.
try it and try it again. So how do you know when to trust it?
Oh yeah, you can never trust AI. You have to have some,
So
critical thinking
are you
to.
using it, or it's just this for fun?
No, no, this is just a concept. As I said, we need. It is really necessary to use RAG to this to be really helpful, because here, for example, suggesting name and so on is useful. Explain the implementation. Most of the time, it really depends, as we saw. But yeah, with RAG, we think that we can improve it a lot more. But yeah, this is just a concept. We are just starting just for internal use, and we started, just a concept, an idea, and we want to see what we can do. Yeah.
Thank another person but him.
So, what are your future plans? Things that you have in your head or in a backlog that you want to integrate into
Okay.
fast? I'm interested.
Other than AI, or with this
No, no.
particular.
With AI,
Okay. Okay.
what are the other things that you have in your
Yeah.
mind that you would like to have?
Next, just to improve this, to make it really useful, start testing inside the company to see if it really works. For people to maybe give some ideas, maybe this tool, this another tool. But in my mind, in my head, the first thing, functionality-wise, that I want to do is implement some kind of intelligent query, maybe, because you are talking to the LLM, but now we have a default query. For example, if you want to improve the name, you ask, okay, so I'm working in small to have this message and so on. It is hard coded. So we want the user to have the potentially to uh, modify that query and also to add parameters. So now we are only sending the selector or maybe some part of the implementation, but maybe the user can wants to send the complete hierarchy, maybe the names of the class and so on. So I want to have this UI, so the user can add parameters, maybe using some meta, how to pick up the part of the code that he wants, taking into consideration what message is into. Uh, but yeah, just to get it more personalizable, maybe I don't know if that's the word. And on top of that, I think the most important thing is just to get it to work consistently, and then to have a tool to generate code. That will be the dream.
I have another question. When you're doing RAG, let's say for instance Copilot usually sends the whole file you're editing as a basically as a context, and some other like fragments from other files that it
Yeah.
finds somehow linked to what you do. So actually, they found that doing RAG, let's say if you're doing tests and you have the original file, the one with the implementation as a comment in the whole thing, yields better results, which is weird because that's not practical. But for RAG, it works very well. What do you provide as when you're doing RAG with this? What is it that what you choose to provide as a context?
Okay. A few things. First, we want to export the code all internal, help the agent to know how to identify what part is what, and then learn our code. And also, we are working with an agent that starts to that we are teaching him how our API works inside the company. So we had information about the interface and so on, what does each endpoint does, and information about all the documentation in the company that we have in Conflicts, for example, or Notion. So yeah, we want to teach it everything that we have, and find some kind of strategy so it works. Trial and error, I think. We're just starting with that a few months ago. So yeah, pretty new.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you. Any more questions? Okay, thank you.